Okay, so it's literally 10 a.m. and I just realized the reprise edition of Sepia Tears is a different version than the Midwinter's reprise. Like completely remastered, new soundtrack, more chapters, so fuck. Anyway, here's my review on Midwinter's reprise, and I'll try to do a video, I think on Monday, to talk about the remastered one. Amateur visual novels. Yes, I know that scares me too. May not be what you think when talking about visual novels. Translated visual novel masterpieces like Clannad and Steins Gate are certainly a reason to stay into the genre, but amateur visual novels are how many start due to, well, their abundance. Every now and then you'll get a Doki Doki Literature Club or Myra that releases on Steam for free to great acclaim. However, typically you'll have to weave through a lot of sepia-colored doo-doo to find decent games, and 9 times out of 10, most titles will be free on Steam, they'll use Renpai, and they'll be porn. But not this one. Well, it's not porn anyway.
そりゃ違うよ。
さよなら。誰なの？私も好きですよ。バカ！
Sepia is a red-brownish color named after the rich brown pigment derived from the ink sac of the common cuttlefish sepia. Sepia Tears is a free visual novel on Steam about, well, not shit-colored tears, I'll tell you that much. Instead, it's about memories and love. We begin with a dream sequence that teases a greater purpose and then are fully thrusted into our protagonist Mark's life. It's not uncommon for these more amateur visual novels to start off with this sort of intriguing introduction. Other free visual novels I looked at previously also start in a similar vein, such as Myra, Everlasting Summer, and Kidnap Girl. It's obviously done to try and hook the reader from the get-go, and since in this free or low-cost market bracket it's hard to stand out and retain readers, I understand, but it does get repetitive. Then again, high-production visual novels such as Clannad also sometimes start like this too, so at the end of the day, whatever. Maybe it's an artistic choice to make the story more poetic, and maybe I complain too much. Anyway, Mark is pretty bland besides his mysterious past with the mysterious girl.
Mysterious, very mysterious. Mysterious, very mysterious.
He awakes to his little sister Rin calling him, who is seemingly the more responsible one, trying to get her big brother to school on time. Rin is a game-loving nerd who is basically the otaku's ideal emoto. I hope you're not tired of anime tropes. A nerd lecture from her later. We also meet Mark's friends Luke Chaos, the otaku, and Lillian, the pretty, shy, smart girl. That basically sums it up, until another mysterious girl named Myra shows up that I'm pretty sure has nothing to do with the first mysterious girl. Obviously related to this, Mark has memories that he cannot remember. That's kind of contradictory. Again, alluding to the mystery girls, and we get some general slice of life stuff with all the main characters. If you like references, this visual novel has references. In fact, I think I didn't get like half of them. However, if you like Higurashi and Pokemon, you'll remember they exist for 5 seconds. This visual novel actually just name drops Pokemon, which I feel like you can't do, but what do I know? I'm just a college graduate stuck in my mother's house. This is a visual novel that you should probably play in one sitting because it was around here I kinda got lost as I played it throughout a couple of days. Myra takes us places as she reveals how much she knows about Mark before seemingly disappearing off the face of the earth multiple times. We get a bit of backstory of how Mark and Luke Chaos and Lillian meet, and Mark's little sister begins to fall in love. And thank God it's not with him, and the fact that I have to say that is, God damn you, Nekopara. Mark and Luke Chaos fall for Lillian. Over the years, they knew each other, and despite knowing the futility of it all, Mark confesses his feelings to her, to the foreshadowed conclusion that she loves Luke Chaos. Oh well. But don't forget about Myra, who Mark instead spent Christmas Eve with and also falls in love with. This protagonist kind of falls in love too easily, but it's not without its own backstory, kind of. Long ago, Mark confessed his feelings to a popular girl that he came to like, but was unfortunately rejected. Myra dressed up and in some ways acted like that girl, but surprisingly enough, she was not that girl. Instead, she was a separate party who fell in love with Mark from afar and spied on his confession to the popular girl, which is kind of a lot to unpack, and I feel Myra is kind of fucking weird. Nonetheless, the third time's the charm for Mark, and he, along with everyone else, finally get their happily ever after romance. Like Katawa Shoujo, this game uses blurred real image backgrounds, which is perfectly fine. The art is palatable, I didn't love it, and I didn't hate it. The CGs and chibi portions, however, were significantly more interesting than the standard character portraits, so I appreciated that. There were not a lot of musical tracks in this visual novel, which is understandable as it is relatively short and music is expensive to have produced. But at the same time, it is noticeable about halfway through the visual novel and does get repetitive. The picture quality is exactly what you see, and the resolution can't be changed, unfortunately. This visual novel runs on Ren'Py, so you get all the Ren'Py standard features. Finally, before we move on, here's a fun fact. When I started this game, I got literally all of the achievements. Looks like there's a little oopsie in the game's programming. Sepia Tears is certainly an okay free visual novel. Nearing the end of the story, I was certainly more into it, but for the most part felt unattached to the story. Mark is a pretty standard visual novel protagonist in that he is incredibly bland, and most of the other characters can be fit into tropes, which is fine, but certainly makes for a less unique story. This visual novel probably won't be too interesting to those who have read many visual novels before, and are looking for some new indie ideas. But it may be an okay introductory one to those who have yet to get their feet wet, and for the price of free, all you lose is your time. Thanks for watching. Did you know that most of my viewers aren't subscribed to my channel? I certainly wouldn't, because I haven't looked at my analytics for like 2 months, but that's what other YouTube channels say, so it's probably true for me too. Anyway, subscribe or don't, see ya.